Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. In this video, we are going to learn Chapter 2 titled Equations, and we are going to focus on the last subtopic, which is 2.3 cubic equations. By the end of this video, you should be able to define cubic expression and equation, and also solve cubic equations by using long division method when one of the root or a factor is given. First of all, let us recognize the difference between cubic expressions and cubic equation. When we say cubic expression or equation, meaning that the highest power of the variable that we have is to the power of 3. This is the general form and example for cubic expression, and this is the general form and example for cubic equation. Whenever we say cubic equation, it means that we will rearrange the equation to have 0 on the right hand side so that we can solve the equation. Now, let us learn a few terms that we are going to use later in this subtopic. Let's say we were asked to solve for fx. Now, since fx is a cubic equation, we will have 3 solutions. And we have 3 different ways of saying these solutions. First of all, we have zeros. We say the zeros of fx are -4, -1, and 4. Next, we have roots. We say the roots of fx are x equals to -4, x equals to -1, and x equals to 4. Basically, roots and zeros are more or less the same, but they are different in the way how we write the answers. And lastly, we have factors. Factors is basically the roots that we write into bracket form. So we will say the factors of fx are x plus 4, x plus 1, and also x minus 4. Let us try to solve example number 1. We were asked to solve x cubed plus 6x squared plus 5x minus 12 equals to 0, given that it has x equals to 1 as one of its root. We need to alert the given information in this question, which is x equals to 1 as its roots. Now, before we proceed, first of all, we need to check either our cubic equation has any missing term. So clearly, for this example, we don't have any missing terms, which means we have x cubed, we have x squared, we have x, and we have number at the back of the equation. Secondly, we need to have a factor, which from this example, we get from the information given, where x equals to 1 is the root. Therefore, we need to transform this root into a factor form where we will write x minus 1 as the factor for this equation. Because from this, we will have x minus 1 equals to 0, and this is where x equals to 1 become the root of this equation. Now, let us proceed to do the long division method. First of all, we write down the cubic expression. And we put the long division symbol, and the factor will be outside the long division symbol. Now, we are going to divide x cubed here with x here. So, x cubed divided by x will give us x squared. So, we will write x squared on top here, and we will multiply x squared with x minus 1. So we will write down here x cubed minus x squared, and we will use minus sign. So x cubed minus x cubed will give us 0x cubed, and we don't have to write that. 6x squared minus with negative x squared will give us 7x squared, and we will bring down these two terms. And again, we are going to repeat the same step as before. Now 7x squared will divide with x. 7x squared divided with x will give us 7x. And we will write down positive 7x on top here. And again, we are going to multiply 7x with x minus 1. This will give us 7x squared minus 7x. Again, we use minus sign. So we will have 7x squared will cancel off with 7x squared. 5x minus with negative 7x will give us 12x. And we bring down negative 12. Now, repeat the same step. 12x will divide with x here. So 12x divided with x will give us 12. And we put positive 12 on top here. And multiply with x minus 1. So we will have 12x minus 12. And again, use minus sign. And this will eventually give us a 0 remainder. So now, we have done with our long division method. And we are ready to solve our cubic equation. So since we have x cubed plus 6x squared plus 5x minus 12 equals to 0, we will put the first factor in front, which is x minus 1, and we will put the quotient that we have here next to the first factor. Now, we will factorize this quadratic expression by using calculator to give us another two factors. So when we press calculator, we will have the other two factors as x plus 3 and x plus 4. Therefore, we now have three solutions which we can write as the first solution x minus 1 equals to 0. We have x equals to 1. The second solution, x plus 3 equals to 0, x equals to negative 3. And the last solution, x plus 4 equals to 0, x equals to negative 4. Therefore, our final answers are x equals to negative 4, x equals to negative 3, and x equals to 1.